I think something, yeah, recording now. So let me share my screen. Well, Jeffrey, can you share because you are the first one?
Yeah, it's going to be a short one today, isn't it? Because I think we only have 2 teams involved. But let me start. Yeah, sure. So this is the release demo for the common domain. I will start today's presentation, what we are going to deliver in this release for the authentication part. So the main feature we are going to deliver is an ability, an API actually, to link an employee in Youforce through an EIM system. So that's an identity API for EIM systems that will allow integrations with EIM systems. And what is that actually? Because I know that sounds really technical, especially since it's an API. Right now, what users have to do to actually have an account connected to an identity, they have to manually do that through the Youforce portal. So you go to a user, you fill in his identity, and based on that, the connection is then made on that identity through login. So how it's going to work from now on, well, we have the ability right now that the manager actually creates a new employee in Youforce. Then automatically through that IAM system that users created in the Active Directory or whatever system they have to actually create that account in their login. So it's the external login we're actually talking about. Then through the API, the new user is then automatically linked to that newly created identity. So the user itself can actually log in to portal through their own identification system. To give it a more schematic, what did we then actually provide in here? So this is actually the same, but then in a sort of flow. So from Youforce, a new employee is created, and there are right now exports to customer IAM system. That be the bin, be some other export mechanism, where could even be an API, where the IAM system then gets, okay, there's a new employee created. Based on that, the new user will be created in their logging system. And right now they can write back then through the identity API that username actually in Youforce all automatically if they create it like that. And then the fourth screen is then that you log in through your own account. I can give a demo, but the demo would be nothing more than to actually show you the API itself, which doesn't really make sense in this functional demo. But I just want to show you a bit how it's going to look like. So just to show you the documentation on what this actually means. So this API will be published through the service gateway, where you can then get a token to actually connect to the API. So that means the authentication will take place through our authentication system, where you then actually get an access token, and based on that access token, you will be able to call the new API, which then is actually a patch to connect the identity to the employee ID that you're already subscribed to. Where then the identity is actually part of the body of the post that you are going to do. Next to the patch, we also have a get, because maybe they aren't sure the correct identity is there. So then even the IAM system can do a get based on that user and see what identity is connected to that. So this is the new API endpoint that will be delivered at the end in the next release. Any questions about that? I know this is a really technical story, so that's why I actually try to describe it in functional screens so you know what it's about. But are there any questions? Yeah, but users are always created. This is just to connect the identity to that user. Because if you create a user, you can actually log in with a username and password. In this case, the identity is something that you get from an external system. So you log in into that external system, and what it gives back is actually either a SAML response or an OpenID response, and in there is an identity, and that identity has to be connected to that user to actually log you in. And that's actually what you see in here. So this is actually how we connect them. If you go to the user, you have in here the identity, and now that can be filled in through an API.
Part of it, instead of an input network.
Yeah, either an import or doing it with individual user management like this. Yeah. We also integrated into the portal, so it's been shown there. No, that depends. If it's connected to R2, you will see a UID. If it's just connected for R1, you will see actually the identity, which internally would be group.u.at youforce.net. Well, that's a different topic. Yeah, we are looking at, or we should activate SAML for everybody, so at least they are able to show this.
So then they can see the identity.
Correct. But right now, the general approach is that we have to request it to the service desk to actually show the identity part, because else you don't show this field in the individual username. Any other questions? No. Then I guess it's back to you, Rosa.
Yeah, it's my turn. Thank you, Jeffrey. I'm going to share my screen. Well, for home, we are going to release in October a new look and feel for the notification page. There are some minor enhancements there. The major improvement there is that for self-service notifications, we are going to display action buttons where the user can execute the action directly from the page, directly from home. The filter for the due date is going to be changed to a drop-down filter with different options. I'm going to show you right now the options, and it's quite easy to use. This is our chat environment. Here we have the notification card, and once we click on the footer, we navigate to the notification page. You can see now the buttons are really explicit by default. We removed some additional clicks and an additional button that we had before. This is the new drop-down. The user can filter the notifications, for instance, that are going to expire today. If you apply the filter, nothing is going to expire today for that user, for this user. For instance, something which is going to expire, we have this one, okay? Yeah, the user can see the expire date here. Those are dummy data, test data, don't be scared. This is the title of the notification, and this is the description, okay? And this is the user who the notification is about. As I said before, for the notification of self-service, let me change the selection. For the notification of self-service, some additional buttons are displayed. Those buttons are according to the configuration of the workflow inter-service, okay? So depending on the configuration, we are going to show different buttons here. From here, the user can execute the action directly without the necessity of navigate to self-service, for instance. Yes, and the action is already done. directly from here. And that's it from home site. Questions?
We have direct action button, but if sometimes you also have to provide a comment, do you then show a comment here, or?
No, but in this moment, we are not going to provide the option to the user to add any comment. We have to work on it with together with self-service team because we are using their API. So by the moment, it is not possible.
So it's just to quickly go through whatever task you have to do, like declarations, just.
Yeah, if you click on the title of the notification or in the go to button, the self-service or whatever module is going to be open. Well, this is our test environment, but this is the window for self-service.
Okay. Are there any other questions? No. No.
So I'm going to stop presenting. So if no question, guys, I think we are done.
Yeah, these were the only two teams to have a presentation today. So.
Yeah. See you next month.
Thanks for attending. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.